Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Joey Dots. This is the Dattie podcast. Today is November 19th, 2024, and I am here with Jessica all the way in Greater Manchester, England. How's it going, Jessica?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on. I know we had a couple hiccups, but I'm glad we were able to get it worked out.
My fault, technical issues.
Uh, so I've been watching a lot of whenever I talk to someone, I always kind of go go through their Instagram, I'll go on websites, I'll do all this research right before just to refamiliarize with
Yeah.
everything. And I noticed you've been taking some risks lately, right? You've been taking some risks with your SMP memes and your videos and stuff. I like that. What made you want to start doing that?
So the pages that I found were doing well in general, not just SMP pages, they are a bit risky with what they post. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I've had a lot more, a much bigger reach since doing it, more bookings. So, you know, I'll
That's
crack on and carry on doing it.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And I think most people, if they are offended or whatever, they get it. It's a joke because I make ridiculous things making fun of bald people because I'm
Bad.
no, I don't think they're bad. I don't. But I'm just saying I haven't seen anybody take those types of risks,
Yeah.
with it.
No risk,
No,
no.
I think they're great. I think they're
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Seems to be working.
Yeah, whatever builds up the traction, right? Whatever
That's me.
drives more
Had
clicks or more views.
so last month I had 97% more engagement than September.
Wow, wow, congrats.
97. So, if it's something that makes someone laugh and they think, oh, actually, what's this page? Click on it. Ooh, she tattoos bald people's heads. I know someone that'll tattoo that needs that doing, and then they'll send them, my page. So it,
That's
it
great.
works. If I feel like as well, if you can make someone laugh, you've already got them, and
Agr
you're not going to come across as boring anyway.
I agree, I
Yeah,
agree.
just
Um,
looking at your page.
England looks tough for the SMP industry, and you seem to be doing pretty well. I
So,
mean, there are a lot of incredible artists, out there
a lot of
and,
competition.
a lot of competition, but you really seem to be doing well. Um, but we'll go into that. First, I wanna know, where did you grow up? Are you from England?
So yeah, so originally from a little place called Bredbury in Stockport, which is about 10 minutes from where I am now, and yeah, grew up there. Then I moved out when I was about 21, when I
Okay.
was when I was pregnant with my son.
Okay, okay. You moved
Went
out?
from- Well, yeah, I went from living at home, being looked after by my mum and dad, not paying any bills, to living on my own with my partner at the time, Marco's dad. And yeah, it was a big change. I went from being looked after, having my teas made, bills paid, to doing all that on my own. So it was a big shock. But yeah, the kids have turned out great. So I don't think I've done a bad job.
And you did it all while you were pregnant, you took this leap. You didn't wait till after the baby was born?
No, so Marco's 11, and it wasn't until Pippa was, how old is she now? 7. So it's 4 years ago. So she was 3 when I did
Okay.
when I did the SMP course. But it's the best thing I've ever done. Literally, the best thing I've ever done for myself. There's no way that if I'd stayed in the job that I was in previously, I'd be in the position that I am now and be able to provide my children with what they have and what they've got, not just material wise, emotionally, and you know, taking them away on holiday and giving them memories that they'll treasure. And yeah, they've got a very good life, very happy kids, and as long as they're happy, I'm happy. So
I
that's
love to hear that. I love to hear that. And Mako is your son, and Pipper, how do you spell Pipper?
so Marco is Marco, so it's an
Okay.
Italian name, and Pippa,
Marco.
Marco, yeah,
Okay. American version, Marco.
yeah, and Pippa is Pippa.
Pipper. Okay, okay. So I'm hearing
Yeah,
that.
but we don't call her Pippa, she's Pip.
Just Pip. Okay. I
Pip.
like that name.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one
Pippa, maybe Pippa when
before.
she's being feisty and a bit cheeky and sassy.
The girls are rough.
Yeah.
Okay. I also have a son. My son is he'll be 4, and then I have a daughter too, and they're I
Oh,
guess almost 3 years apart, about
yeah.
33 months.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Are you having any more?
If I win the lottery.
Yeah, tell me about it. I couldn't even like pass stuff down from Marco to Pippa because it's a boy to a girl. So
Yeah.
there was nothing that. So I give all Marco stuff to my friends, and then Pippa's all stuff to friends as well. So
Same, and I'm fortunate because we have friends with kids a similar age, so they give us some of their stuff too,
yeah,
which
yeah.
helps because I mean they grow so fast and the clothes get expensive. And I
Oh,
was getting my son all these nice shoes. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am
honestly, my son has gone from a size 3 to a 5.5 in the space of about 7 or 8 months.
Wow,
So
wow.
my auntie, who's a size 4 or 5, so depending on what make the shoes are, she's got so many pairs of his trainers now that are still in pristine condition because his feet are growing that quick.
That's
So now,
great.
yeah, and then as soon as they go out of the junior size, he's like in the adult size now, and they add about bloody 50 pound onto them. It's a joke, honestly.
You like being a mom?
Yeah, I love being a mom. Yeah, it's nice. So I'm not with children's dad, so we do 2 nights in the week each, and then we alternate the weekends, so Friday till Monday morning. So it's nice because I kind of get the best of both worlds. I get to be a mum, and because I had children so young, I feel like I kind of getting a bit of my life back now.
Yeah.
Things that I would have done maybe in my 20s that I didn't get a chance to do. But I feel like the way I've done it, it's worked out very well because now I've got money to do things.
Yeah, for real.
Now that I wouldn't have had the chance to do when I was 20 because I didn't have the money to do. So, little weekends away, um, just not being able to, it's nice to be able to buy something, not just that you need, but you want. And not that money's everything, but money bloody helps.
It
So
makes a big
it
difference. It
does. And
makes a big difference.
whoever created the phrase, money's good. What's the phrase? What is that phrase?
Money can't buy happiness?
Money can't buy happiness. And my mum brought me and my brother up, you know, saying stuff like that. Money can't buy happiness, but it sure does bloody help, and it takes a lot of stress off life.
Yeah,
So
I tell money doesn't buy happiness, it
it
buys
doesn't.
freedom.
Yes,
Buys you freedom to do what you want to do.
exactly. And who wants to be in the situation where they're not being able to pay the bills, buy things for the children that they need, not just want, school shoes, school uniform. Marco's just started year 7 in high school, so I think that's like, is that like something grade in America? So is he like,
Yeah, I had somebody was on recently explaining this to me. I think it was maybe Billy or something. You guys go by years, like it's
yeah?
year,
So
year. We
age.
have grade. So he's 11. He'd be in like 6th grade here.
All right, okay. So
Yeah.
here it's so an 11-year-old is in like year 7, and then year 8, and then it goes to year 11, which then they leave high school, and then obviously go to college, university. But yeah, Marco is in. What was we even talking about?
You're good. You're good. We were just talking about you being a mom. We're just
Oh
talking about you being a mom.
yeah,
Um, but I think it's good that you didn't do all the quote unquote fun stuff, going out partying, having a good time, because you were
yeah,
busy focused on being a mom. And
yeah.
because a lot of people don't do it that way. A
They
lot of
do.
people
And
get crazy in their 20s when they have kids, and then things don't always work out very
oh,
well.
even before I had Marco, I was never the kind of person to go out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My mum's very similar. We have like a small circle of friends that, yeah, we like going out with, but I was never a partier. I've never even been on like, so I've been on a girls' holiday with two of my friends years ago when I was maybe like 17, 18, but it wasn't like a woohoo spring break holiday or anything like that.
Okay.
It was like,
Okay.
it was like, I think it was Morocco or Egypt, somewhere like that. So I'm not a partier at all. I would much rather go out in the afternoon for a few drinks, do a bit of people watching, which is my favorite hobby,
Oh
then
yeah.
go for a nice meal, and then yeah, get home back in bed for like 9 o'clock in my pajamas, 10 o'clock. So that might be really boring, but yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. The older I get, the less I go out at night and I don't really go out at all and party, but I love a good day drinking, going
Yeah,
out to an event in the afternoon, drink all day, come home, pass out. I love that. That's probably my favorite thing
make
to
sure
do,
you
I
eat,
would say
and then
now.
the next day you don't feel as shocking. So
Yeah.
it's when you get home at like, 2, 3 in the morning, get straight in bed, you've had nothing to eat, there's nothing to soak up the alcohol, then you
No
wake up
water.
feeling like death. Yeah. No, no one wants that. So I prefer to go out earlier, have a few drinks, nice meal, get drunk, but not when you're like bloody fall. That's not me falling all over the place. That cringes me out when I see girls do that. And guys, handle your drink. Know when you've had enough.
I
That's
agree,
never
and I had to learn the hard way.
oh,
I was out of control for a while because you know what I did? I didn't know my tolerance. I didn't know my drink because I don't drink beer. I just drink vodka. But
oh,
I would mix drinks. So I would drink vodka, then I would drink whiskey,
that's
and then you start doing that and you mix all these things, and then I would just like black out. I didn't
yeah.
know you don't have to black out, right? I would just get fucking
That
plastered,
was
really
not
wasted,
yeah.
and made a lot of mistakes.
I've only ever blacked out once, and that was because I got spiked at a house party,
Ooh,
and I don't even think I was like a legal age.
Jesus.
I think I
Were
went.
you good? Did anything serious happen?
So my mum had to come and pick me up
Okay.
because I couldn't get down the stairs. So one of my friends rang my mum off my phone and said, "You need to come and get Jess. She's lay on. I think I was on the landing, and someone had put something in my drink." I think I was about 16.
Damn.
And all I remember, so I remember passing out and thinking, what's happened? And I remember my mum shoving me into the back of a car, and I was laid down. The next thing I remember, I woke up in my bed at home.
Wow. Well, it's better than you passing out there and something.
Well, yeah, I think someone obviously had an ulterior motive.
Yeah. Did you ever figure out who it was, or
Oh,
was other people?
there was loads of people there, yeah.
Wow.
Mm, naughty.
Yeah. No, that's good that someone called your
Oh,
mom.
yeah.
When that happened.
I think my friend was scared that I was kind of, well, that out of it. And she tried to get me down the stairs and she couldn't. So people had to literally carry me down the stairs. And my mum, obviously, I think my mum knew what had happened because she knew that wasn't me. She knew that I wasn't the kind of girl to go out, get plastered to that point and not,
Yeah.
not even be able to stand up. In fact, I remember trying to stand up, but I couldn't like bend my leg in a way that I needed to get up. It was a really weird feeling. I remember feeling that, and then I remember being pushed into the back of my mum's car, and then I woke up in my bed.
Wow.
It's actually very scary, actually. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Could have been way worse.
that's about it for a very, very long time. I actually forget sometimes.
Was your mom cool? Like, was she just happy that you called her? Were you in
My
trouble or
mum's,
anything?
my mum is literally my best friend. She's the best nana to my children. She's unbelievable. I would not be here where I am now if it wasn't for my mum. Not
Glad
even
to hear
close.
that.
She's the most supportive person. She cannot do enough for anyone. She's unreal. She's amazing.
That's great.
I know.
Yeah.
What's up, SMP world? It's Chris with the Blaine's Protein. A lot of people are switching over to our products. The most realistic results are being put out using Blaine's products. These products were made for artists by artists. We want to make you a believer. Here's 20% off your first purchase. Use Dattie podcast. Blaine's for the most natural results in the world.
Yeah. Do you have any brothers or sisters, Jessica?
Yeah, so I've got a younger brother. He's 30. He's just got married a few weeks ago, actually,
Okay.
to my now sister-in-law Emily. She's lovely, and he's a singer-songwriter. He's very, very talented.
Really?
He's actually an Ed Sheeran tribute.
Oh, he performs Ed Sheeran songs.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
amazing.
that's cool.
He's absolutely smashing it. He's been on cruises. He's been all over the world. I don't even
Does
think
he look like Ed at all?
no, not at all. So he has to wear a ginger wig. He has to wear a ginger wig, like a checked shirt. Yeah, he doesn't have any tattoos on his arms, so he has to wear like a fake tattoo sleeve.
Okay,
And then,
that's
but
great.
he plays the guitar amazingly well. He plays bass guitar and electric guitar, acoustic guitar. But yeah, he's been in a couple of bands, and then he went solo. But yeah, I think in school he wasn't academic at all, but I do not know anyone that can sit down and write a song in 5 minutes and put the music to it and then perform it. There's different levels of being smart, and so I know I couldn't sit down and write a song. I wouldn't know where to start. So yeah, I was clever in school, but there's different. It's like telling a fish to climb a tree. There's
I
different
love that
levels.
analogy, and I agree with you. I think
Yeah,
there's different types of ways to measure intelligence, whether
100%.
it's like, hey, you're good at math, or you're good at science, or reading and English, or you're good at just learning by doing, or
Yeah,
mechanics, or
yeah,
writing songs. I think there's just everybody's different, right? But that's
yeah.
so cool. So your brother makes a living. He actually that's his career. How he makes money, pays his bills, is and then Ed Sheeran.
Absolutely smashing it, and
That's
he
so
loves
fucking
it.
cool.
But his passion is fishing. So
Okay.
he fishes, most weekdays, and then gigs all weekend. He's literally got the best life, the best life. But his wife's very supportive. She knows how much both of them mean to him, so she never kind of like moans at him for for doing any of it because she's busy herself.
Does she go on the trips? I mean, I know there's a lot of traveling involved when you do that type of work.
Yeah, so they've just been to Scotland. I'm sure that was for a gig. But yeah, he's all over. But I think he also needed to find someone that was very understanding of what he does. And she's just the most chilled girl ever. I love her to bits. She's lovely.
You
Yeah.
gotta send us a picture or a clip of your brother performing so we can
Yeah.
put it in here.
Yes.
Okay, I'd love to see it. I don't know any Ed Sheeran. I have a few clients that do that. They're like wedding singers and stuff like that, and it's also a hard life, right? I mean, if you
Yeah.
make it a full long career, because you got to make sure your voice is good like every time,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
he also does. So Ed Sheeran is his most popular one, but
Okay.
he also does Lewis Capaldi and George Ezra. But it's Ed Sheeran that he gets the most bookings for, definitely.
He has such an amazing voice, but what's the thing that's wrong? He's got Tourette's, is that what it is?
So you're not going to believe this. My brother has also got Tourette's.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of which
So
kind?
he's not got the one where he kind of like comes out with outbursts,
Uh-huh.
but he has like a twitch.
What kind of
So
twitch?
he was on medication when he was younger, and then he slowly come off it as he's got older. But yeah, he'd tell you himself, like he does kind of, it's like a like that.
That okay.
But when
But
he was
not
younger,
but he's not like saying like I mean, you've obviously seen the ones where it's almost you can't talk to them because they just randomly will like start cursing, saying crazy stuff.
but
That one
offensive
was
stuff.
brutal.
It's offensive as well, and if
Uh,
someone like that is shouting abuse at you, it's normally true. It's what they say and what they perceive, and they can't
it
help saying it. But yeah, he's not got that one. Although it would be funny.
no, it would be terrible. It would be terrible.
I love that. Yeah, but
Well,
because
so that's
sorry, go
good. He's able to maintain, or I guess the Tourette's isn't stopping him from, fulfilling his
on.
career.
Well,
That's great.
what he also found, which why I think it helped when he was younger before he got diagnosed, was that singing helped. So I think he finds when he sings, the twitching stops
Huh.
because it's like a flow. Whereas obviously when you're speaking normally, you stop in, it's a new sentence. And I found when I'm listening to him, it's normally when he's finished saying something that he goes like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he's just so focused when he's singing, there's no room
Yeah.
for the
Well, I think, yeah, because
the
you've also
twitch to creep in.
yeah, of what the next line is, or the next guitar riff, or but he's so talented. I remember watching him in a school talent show, and me and my brother have grown up at home with my dad, and he's got such an amazing taste in music, and all we listened to was 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
And
same.
my brother was 8 years old, and in the school talent show, he sang REO Speedwagon. I can't fight this feeling.
At 8 years old, that's
8 years,
amazing.
8 years old, sang it, did the guitar tune to it as well. And I remember looking around and all the teachers were like, "How does he know this song?" Like that was from like their era.
Yeah,
But even myself, I feel like I've been born in the wrong generation because I am obsessed with 80s music to the point where my clients now know that when they come in, they'll be listening to 80s ballads and I'll be singing.
great.
Come in, yeah. I can't
I'm a big fan of the 80s as
love
well. I'm
the
a big
80s. So my favourite band are Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, I love Fleetwood Mac. My aunt just saw Stevie Nicks, and she looks great. Do you think she wears hair extensions?
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Mm,
Her hair's down to her butt.
is
Have you
it?
seen Yeah, I mean, in the photos that I've recently seen.
Right, I don't know. I'm not seeing. Yeah, I went to a tribute band last month called Fleetwood Back, and honestly, they were amazing. I felt like I was at the real thing.
Oh, I love a good tribute band.
They were
Tribute bands are great. I saw a Beatles tribute band this summer. They're good.
were they good?
Yeah, they're great. I love a tribute band. Why not?
Yeah,
It's songs that I already know, and it's usually a smaller venue. You can actually enjoy yourself.
yeah. You can get a drink without queuing and having to spend about £20 on a pint.
Exactly.
Look, how
Exactly.
much is a pint in America where you are?
It depends what bar you go to. Depends what bar you go to. I don't know, anywhere between probably $8 and $15, probably something like
Right.
that.
Might be similar to that. So at the moment, so Manchester is getting very similar to London now with their prices. So I'd say a average here, pint wise, probably about £5,
Okay.
maybe
I
more.
was I've been to London. I've been to London. I didn't go anywhere else. Just the typical tourist crap.
Were you shocked at the prices in London?
No, because I didn't even know how to convert it.
That helps.
It's like the same. I mean, it was to me, it was pretty much similar. I knew it was going to be a little bit more expensive, kind of like
Yeah,
going to New York here.
yeah,
The cities are always a little bit more expensive.
yeah,
We stayed in a nice hotel. I was fortunate. I got to go in October 2019, so right before COVID. And
yeah,
I liked London because I could read. Everyone spoke English. Because right after there, we went to Paris, and I was very confused.
yeah. I've not been to Paris. I've heard a few bad things about Paris recently, actually. Just, I think,
Yeah. I mean, it was. I thought. I don't know what I expected. I guess because of the Eiffel Tower, but it was dirtier. I could tell you that it was a lot dirtier than I expected.
so yeah, I had a client
But-
last week that said came out of a shop and there was like just two rats near
Yeah.
near
Yes.
near the door, just like it was like the middle of the night, like no one was there. They were just like, yeah,
Big ass
just
rats. These rats were the size of cats, like a house
yeah,
cat. Big,
yeah.
big, and they weren't afraid.
No, they're like the size of pigeons.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah. So when I've been hearing things like that, Paris isn't at the top of my list.
Yeah,
Anytime.
you're not missing. I mean, go there for one day, go to the Eiffel Tower and leave.
Yeah, definitely. Even that, like, I feel like everyone's obsessed with Dubai at the minute as well. And
I'm afraid to go to Dubai, and a lot of SMP artists out there because it's like you break the wrong rule, you don't know what they're going to do to you.
yeah,
And and I'm a man. As a woman, I'd be even more afraid.
yeah. So
They have different
women got
rules
to
how they
cover up.
roll out there.
Have women got to cover up in Dubai?
I don't think American women or British women, but it's probably not. I think I don't want to say it's frowned upon, but I know that you're not allowed to drink. Like if you're at a venue, let's say you're in London or United States, you're at a bar, you're drinking, you leave. They basically want you to be sober and you can't continue drinking down the street. I know that. It's all designated. It's like, here's your area, you can have fun. That's it. You know,
Yeah.
no more fun, no carrying on, going to other places. I'd just be
Yeah.
afraid I'd say something stupid because they arrest people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the craziest charges that you never even heard of, and it's like
Yeah.
70 years for jaywalk. You know, just I don't want.
Yeah. So
I don't trust myself.
jaywalking. So that's not a thing in England. I only recently learned what that was, and I was like, "What? You can get put in prison for walking on the wrong bit of the road? Is that right?"
It's if you don't go on the crosswalk. So you know you have the lights, and then you have the crosswalks, the little white lines. You're supposed to walk there. I think they just legalized it somewhere, either in California or New York. But yeah, but you people in London, you guys go to all these different countries. Like you were talking about holiday, you're like, I don't know if it's Egypt or Morocco.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's nice because they're very close, right? I guess they're semi close to you. Is that where a lot of people go?
So my mum and dad would probably live in Egypt if they could. They went for 3 weeks in May. They absolutely love it. And I think the only reason they come back is to see my children. They were like, "Oh, we've really missed Marco and Pippa." Me and brother were like, "What about us? Have you not missed us? What about your own children?" But no, they're very close to my kids. I think as well, just going back to the Dubai thing, if it is that strict, it's not the place for me. I've got a
Yeah,
very, very dark sense of humour.
yeah, yeah. That
Um,
much, yeah.
yeah, I don't think I'd fit in. But it's like, one day I'd love to go. I'd love to not to cross it off my list. But again, it's not one of the top places that I'm rushing to go to. I'd love to
Have
come.
you? I hear a lot of people go to what's it? Portugal? Is that a lot of people go to the Portugal and Spain?
Yeah, Portugal's nice. Albufeira, a lot of people go to, which is in Portugal.
Okay.
Uh, but mainly, a lot of people go to like Spain. There's loads of different places in Spain that a lot of people go to.
Uh,
But yeah, I feel like when I go on social media now, everyone's in Dubai. Everyone.
Yeah, I do see it a lot. I
Yeah.
do.
And
Have you ever been to US?
no, but I want to come. So invite me
What
over.
part? What part do you want to go?
So I would love to go to like Texas, Nashville, places like that. I want
Good
to go to.
choices. That's the real America.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't want to say real America. I didn't want to offend people. But yeah, no, I'd love to go to, you know, places like that have got substance and history. And
Yeah.
I really
And
want
they're
to go.
growing cities. They're growing cities. I mean, Austin and Nashville are growing. I
I
don't
mean,
think you really want to go to LA.
no,
It,
no,
I mean, it's cool to visit, I guess.
I'm not that
But
kind
it's
of girl.
there's a lot of homeless. There's a big homeless problem out there.
I've been told that, yeah, recently. And yeah, I think I am the kind of girl that would want to go to like Nashville, Texas. I'm not interested in going to like California, LA, anywhere, even like Florida. Like I've never been to like Disneyland at Florida, but I've never wanted to.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I don't like big crowds of people for starters.
A lot of people up here. So I'm in Delaware. Do you know where that's at?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's about 45 minutes from Philadelphia. And
Okay.
so a lot of people up here will go down to Florida during the winter up here because it's warm down there. But I
Yeah.
hear if you go to Disney World, you want to go in the winter, it's less crowds. Less crowds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So my children don't even ask to go to Disney World. So
No,
it's
not yet.
it'd be different if they were going, "Oh, mom, let's go," but they're not even wanting to go. Like, so I took my children to Mexico 2 years ago.
You took your kids to Mexico?
Yeah,
Holy shit. Where? Cancun?
Cancun. Yeah, it
Wow.
was amazing. So it was just before Christmas, 2022, I think, and it was the best holiday ever. But I have
All inclusive, I assume.
all inclusive, but I have spoiled them because now, whenever we book a holiday, my son asks if there's a swim up pool, a swim up bar. He's going, "I'm not going if there's not a swim up pool." I'm like, "Get down and knock you down a peg or two. You're from Manchester." every place we go to doesn't need to have a swim up bar.
Yeah, no, they do have that for people listening. They have that, and the kids, they'll give them non-alcoholic drinks.
Well, that's what Marco was doing,
Yeah.
and I think he loved the whole experience of it, like swimming to the bar, getting his non-alcoholic mocktail, obviously, and he just, yeah, coming back with it all suave, like that.
Yeah.
Like, he thought he was the bee's knees. But now, yeah, every time we book something, we're going to Egypt in February, half term, with my mum and dad and the kids.
You're going this February coming up?
Yeah, and
Okay.
he even said then to my dad, like, his granddad, is the hotel got a swim up bar? Like, who do you think you are?
Do they have all inclusive in Egypt?
Mexico. Yeah, so it's all inclusive, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, so they kind of make
Children,
like
it needs to be all inclusive. It's the cost of
how was it taking them on the plane for that long?
to Mexico.
How old was your daughter? How old was your daughter at that time?
So she would have been 5 when we went to Mexico. Luckily, it was a
Okay.
night flight, I think. But then, so it was a night flight for us in the UK. But then when we got to Mexico, it was then their night time. So then the kids weren't tired then. So it was like, come on, let's go to the beach. And I was like, it's dark outside.
Yeah.
No one's at the beach. So they had to like go, try and go back to sleep. And I think they were awake at 5. And then they slowly got back into their kind of hours then. But yeah, they were great. Just got iPads.
That's good. I've heard some horror stories with the traveling with the kids. I mean, 5 years old though, that's not that bad. That's not.
No, and she's good as gold. Don't get me wrong.
When it comes to scalp micropigmentation, you need tools you can trust. That's where InkU SMP products come in. Jade needles are designed for precision and durability, giving you consistent, flawless results every time. Pair them with InkU Pigment, a rich, long-lasting formula your clients will love. Keep things smooth with InkU Butter, perfect for soothing and protecting the skin. And finish strong with antimicrobial foam cleanser for a clean, worry-free healing process. Ready to take your SMP game to the next level? Visit inkucare.com today. InkU SMP products are made for artists by artists.
She's feisty. She's definitely my daughter, and she's got a spark in her that I just don't want to put out, because you can just tell she's not one to be she's not one to be reckoned with. Definitely.
That's great.
So she's brutal. So she's very honest with people, but she doesn't.
Which can make it terrible in public.
The thing is, she's got the most angelic face. And when she's asking questions about people that are in the room that can hear, because she's absolutely bloody gorgeous, when she is offending people without realizing, because she's very inquisitive, so she'll want to know why someone's the way they are. And because she is so cute, you can't even be mad at her. And I just think you can't at all, because she's just
It can make it awkward though. My son recently asked about why that person's belly is so big, and I'm like, oh my God, shut up. I'm like, why is his belly so big? I'm like,
I feel like as well, if a child says something not very nice to you, it's usually the truth, because children don't.
oh yeah, I mean, it was a fat guy. It was a fat guy, but but it's like you can't. He wasn't saying it in a bad way. He just noticed that it was excessive. It looked different than everybody else, and so he wasn't saying, "Oh, look at that fat piece of shit." He's just like, "Why is that guy's belly so big?"
He wants to know why that guy's belly's so big. Definitely, that's the point now. That if I'm going out and I'm stuck between outfits, I'll ask Pippa what she thinks, because I know I'll get the truth. So
That's good.
I bought some holiday clothes. Just got back from Turkey in the summer, and I had some like loads of different dresses, and I only needed 7. We were only going for 7 nights.
Uh-huh.
And I put one dress on, and I said, "What do you think, Pippa?" And she said, "Maybe leave that one at home." And I was like, "Right, that's going in the bin. Definitely, never wear it." But she's very honest, and I like that I've got someone there that will tell me the truth if I need it.
Yeah, the brutal honesty.
She is.
I think it could be good. I think it could be good. It's just you might get in situations where it's
I think as she gets older, I will have to have a bit of a chat with her about, think about what you're saying, because at the minute she's got no filter, but she doesn't realize she's offending people. So I think when she gets a bit older, I'll just say, look, just say it in your head first, and if you wouldn't want that said to you, maybe don't say it. Maybe come out of the room and ask me why that
Right.
person is like that, and not in front of them, just so they don't
I
go and cry.
I agree. So were you growing up, were you a good kid? Were you a bad kid?
I was an amazing kid. No, I was never in trouble. Yeah, no, I was just got on with my schoolwork. I didn't really play out until, so we lived near a cul-de-sac, so my mum was very, very protective, as I am as a mum. I've only just started letting Marco play out on the front where I can see him and he's 11. Just because you don't never know what's going to happen, do you? You hear bloody horror stories of 1 minute you
Oh
turn
yeah.
around there and next minute they're gone. So yeah, I mean, I didn't. I think I've started playing Kirby. Do you know what Kirby is?
No.
Kirby, you get a
The
ball.
Pokemon?
No, no. So you stand on each side of the curb, and then you get a ball, and the person's got to throw the ball onto the other side of the curb for it to then hit back, like go back over in that direction towards the other person. But you've got
Like
to
on
get
the corner?
the ball's got to hit the corner of the curb and fly back up, and then you get
Over your head?
yeah. Well, not over your head. So say that's the road. Person stood here and a person stood here, and then you've got to one person has got to throw the ball to the other person's curb, but it's got to hit the curb and fly back up, if that makes sense.
I'll have to YouTube it. I'll have to YouTube it. But it sounds like a game like kids kind of make up in the city, so or like in a suburban environment.
Yeah.
I love that. I love a good a game that kids make up. I
And
love
I was
that.
always on my scooter, my little micro scooter.
Well, like a razor.
It was like this little metal thing, and then if it ever span round, it hit you in your.
Yeah, yeah, the razor. I remember that was good.
I
I
remember
had one too.
just talking about it. I'm feeling the pain right now. Bruised ankles.
Did you play any sports?
I played. I think I was on like the school football team in like years, like really early on.
Soccer.
Yeah, I liked football, but sport. No, I think now I'm really into my hiking now. Love a good
Okay.
hike. But yeah, I wasn't very. I wouldn't say I was sporty growing up.
You look like athletic. I mean, it looks like you work out at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, see, you have muscle. So do you work out?
I try to when I
Yeah.
get time. I am starting I'm trying to get into a better routine with work and, separating my own time. That's been a big struggle this year.
But
Definitely.
what do you mean? What has?
Just making enough time for myself. I felt like at one point, like I love my job so much, I never want to get to the point where I'm that burnt out that I'm not looking forward to going to work. And because I'm so busy, and I don't work weekends either, so I work Monday to Friday. And when a client texts me on wanting a quote or DMs me on Instagram, if they want to get in ASAP and I can't get them in for sometimes it's like 8 to 12 weeks, they'll go, "Oh, can you not fit me in on a Saturday?" And it was so hard to say. Sometimes as well, they're saying that they'll pay double to come in on a Saturday, and that's what's really been hard because being strong with my working hours, because as you'll know, running a business, it's not a 9 to 5. When I get in from work at say 6 o'clock, I'm then sat with my diary for an hour booking people in, replying to DMs, sending quotes to people, answering questions. And I think before I got into business, the business side of SMP, I didn't realize what actually went on behind the scenes and what goes into making a successful business, or even getting to the point where I am now. Like I never imagined that I'd be where I am now with it. I never thought that I'd be looking at my diary, seeing so many names, and it's a very nice feeling. I'm very, very proud of myself, but I'm nowhere where I want to be, and I've got big dreams and big goals, which is nice. And like I said,
You should always have goals. And I just want to clarify for the American listeners when she says diary, because I thought this with Chloe too. When you say diary, you're talking about your calendar, right?
yes.
Okay. She's not going home and spending an hour writing her thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, so I think that was the hardest thing to. Well, when I first started, I thought with any business, I feel like you need to be flexible in order to gain a reputation for then to have your portfolio out there. But now that I'm at a point where I've got clients traveling a long way, which is it's hard for me to say that online because I'm very, very modest. And when someone inquires and I ask where they're from, and sometimes it's like, so say for instance, last week I had a guy message me from a place called Essex, and
I've heard of Essex. I've heard of
it's
Essex.
it's a 5 hour drive, and
Maybe he wants to come to you.
he's booked in. But he's what blows my mind is that he's literally going to be driving past probably about 10 to 15 decent artists that I know, and that's what I can't get my head around.
Maybe
Just
those artists are not pretty girls.
but it's like that's a long drive. That's 10 hours in the car in one day, 3 times.
Well, who knows? Maybe he has also another connect near you. But yeah, but
Yeah,
you should feel grateful, which I'm sure you do.
very grateful. I'm grateful.
Yeah, that is great. It's very odd. No, I have someone coming in from Seattle
Yeah,
on, I guess they're flying in this weekend, and I'm training them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. And,
yeah,
they're flying all the way out here, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's like, yeah, they chose me, but obviously there's other options. But they picked me for a reason. They're actually a fan of the podcast, believe it or
yeah.
not.
No, I mean it's a massive compliment, but it still doesn't sink in for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and I just think why. And I'm saying to them, I'm literally doing myself out of business by saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to drive all this way for that?" Sometimes I feel like saying, "Well, what about that artist? They're like an hour less." Or then I think, "No, Jess, shut up, take the deposit, take the deposit." Literally do. I'm that kind of like giving work away, but I'll just think of them.
Are
Like if
your prices comparable to the other artists around?
I think I'm very reasonable. So I've been qualified for 4 years. Then I did my masterclass, and I did the trainer's training course 2 years ago. So I've trained 65 people now
Wow.
in two
Wow.
years. Yeah,
What did you do before SMP?
dental nurse.
Like in there cleaning teeth?
No, so that's a hygienist. So I was the dentist's assistant. So
Like,
sucking up all the spit and crap out of people's mouths.
okay. Mr. Thirsty,
Very glammy.
that thing.
I love dental nursing. I really,
Okay.
and I just felt like I wanted to do something on my own. And yeah, when I came across SMP, it was like an instant flick of a switch. I knew that's what I was going to do, and I was going to make it work no matter what, and it has.
But how did you hear about SMP? I mean, you don't look like you have SMP. I don't know, maybe you do, but okay.
So my brother was going through hair loss, and he booked in for a hair transplant. He did a bit of more research and found found that a lot of people were saying it was quite painful, the numbing up process of it. So my brother would openly admit this as well. He's a bit of a wuss with pain.
Okay.
So he decided against the transplant, looked at alternatives, came across SMP, sent me the link on WhatsApp and said, "What do you think about this?" And as soon as I opened it and saw what it was, so I'd heard about it, but I'd never seen results like what I was looking at. All I'd seen in the past online was stuff like the really boxed on, like shower cap kind of hairlines that would like
Sharp hairline, American style hairline.
just they weren't natural looking. What I was looking at from the link that he'd shown me was natural hairlines that looked like hair blended, you know. You wouldn't, to the point where if I wasn't on that website and I saw that picture on some random account, I wouldn't have even known it was SMP. And I think the natural results are what drew me in, because I don't want to be giving people shower cap heads or Lego heads. You know, you see it all the time. The amount of messages that I get off guys saying, "Can you fix this?" I'm like, "Yeah, when you've had laser, but I can, you know, you can't take a hairline back up with a tattoo pen." So it's, you know, it's quite sad really that, and the more and more I look into it when people send me photos, it's the scale of the amount of botch jobs now. It really pisses me off. I'm not going to lie, because if someone's on the fence of getting SMP and then they see the botch jobs, that's going to fully put them off and think, well, I'm not going to get that because mine will look like that. No, like it really infuriates me to the point I can literally feel myself sizzling inside when I see the really bad ones, because it would put someone off that was considering it. 100%, definitely.
I can't disagree with you. You're not wrong. You're
I know.
not wrong.
But so
I
yeah,
like your description of sizzling. I haven't heard that. Is that a British? I've heard it, but I mean, I like your perfect use of it.
you know what? When I do see them, I'm looking at their head, thinking how we could have done it, and it's such a shame that they've either not done the research, which a lot of people don't. Will just book in like willy nilly.
Yeah.
I keep getting my photos stolen as well, and
Really?
yeah, so they screenshot my Instagram post and put their logo over it.
Oh
So you know,
shit.
these people out there, artists doing that. You know, those clients. Well, I don't call them clients, call them victims. If those victims are then seeing, you know, my post, your post, people's post that they've stole, obviously they're going to think that's their work. Then when they get the quote and they're like, "Wow, that's a great quote. I'm going to go for that." Then they come out looking like with like like a Lego head, looking not natural. Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's a big problem in the industry.
Yeah,
That is a big problem in the industry.
any industry, like
Yeah.
cowboys everywhere.
Who did you train with
Scalp,
originally? With I'm sorry, who?
scalp culture.
Scalp Culture, and who is that?
Justin Davids.
Justin Davids. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if I'm familiar. Maybe I am. I have to check them out.
yeah.
But they're in London.
They are in Northampton, based in Northampton, but they've got clinics now in Thailand. So I was actually Justin's Manchester clinic when I first trained. So yeah, good friends with Justin.
Big news for the SMP world. Follicule has just dropped their new scalp pigment. It's bigger, better, and made with Hanafi Color Pigments, one of the largest pigment manufacturers in the world. Not only is this pigment backed by world-class expertise, but they are giving you more of what you need. That's right. Their new, bigger bottles mean you have enough pigment to do 20 to 25 sessions in just one bottle. And because you're part of the Dattie podcast community, we're offering you an exclusive deal. 15% off all pigments and aftercare products when you use the code DADDY at checkout. Take your SMP game to the next level with Follicule Pigments. Go to the Follicule website. Get it now.
Okay. So Scalp Culture. So I looked up Scalp Culture. This is one of those. So my business account was following it. So because I have 3 or 4 accounts,
Yeah,
I usually follow somebody on one of them. I'm not sure if I follow them on the other. Sometimes I follow them all 3 or 4. So
yeah,
it's like I don't always see the same people. But I'm looking at Scalp Culture. This is one of those accounts where I'm not saying there's anything wrong or I don't know. I just don't know much about them because they don't show who is the main artist. So it's to me, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say hiding behind the brand because the brand is good.
yeah,
Obviously, they're pumping out a lot of students, but
yeah,
I just scroll through here. Who is the teacher? Who is the artist? And it's hard for me to figure that out.
yeah.
And so but obviously you're doing really well. I've seen your work. You do very well.
Oh yes.
So yeah, so you had to have learned something. But it's like those types of accounts, they exist. But in my opinion, I think it's bad marketing because if you want to be a great artist and you want to be a well-known artist, you have to put your personal brand out there. To me, it's just Scalp Culture. It just looks like a bunch of random people.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Have you found as well that since you started showing yourself more, you've got more clients?
I I think so. For the first 2.5 years, I never showed my face because I was afraid that my employer, because I was still working at the time, was going to see me. So it was just before and after pictures or stuff like that. And yeah, I think my brand has definitely went up.
Yeah.
My personal brand has really gone up. Yeah, yeah. I think it's good to differentiate the artist from the company, especially if there's a company with multiple people.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, so is that so you train with scalp culture and were you still doing the dentist thing? The dentist thing. Were you still doing the dental stuff for
So the dental practice that I worked at the time wouldn't allow me to go back part time. And after I had Pip, I didn't want other people bringing my children up. I thought I want to be able to bring my children up. So the fact they didn't allow it, so it was nothing personal against me. It was just a procedure that they had in place
Mhm.
to kind of limit staff turnover, I guess, to have, a limited amount of people working there, loads of people not covering for each other at once. I probably would have been happy to go back 3 days maybe, but they wouldn't leave me there 5 days. And I couldn't leave. I didn't want to leave them at all. Never mind 5 days a week, 8 till 5. I don't know how parents do it. I really, they deserve a lot.
Yeah, it's terrible, especially and especially if your kids in daycare. Your kids basically in daycare
I know.
40 hours a week, like like they're working a job.
Exactly. And here as well, I don't know what childcare costs are like where you are.
Expensive.
Yeah. It's like a mortgage payment sometimes.
My friend has two kids. They're both under three, and he
Yeah.
pays $850 a week. A week. $850 a week. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. So it's weird because when people have children, they want them back in work, but then at the same time, some people literally cannot afford to put the children in childcare in order to work. It's like, make it make sense.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of women, they have to determine,
Yeah,
hey, am I going to just work to put my kid in daycare, or
yeah,
should I just be a stay-at-home mom?
yeah. I know what I
Mm,
do.
yeah.
So then it got to, I think I handed my notice in at the dental practice in the March. I think I had to give a month's notice. Left in the April, and then my course was in the April, in like the middle of April. I'd already set my Instagram up in when I booked on the course in probably the no. So I handed my notice in to the dental practice in the January. I then set up my Instagram because I wanted people to know what I was doing. I knew
Mhm.
that I was going to have to leave that course and have models straight away. I didn't want to do the course, then set it up. I wanted to come back on the last day of training and have people booked in to do the modelling. I wanted to go straight into it, and that it just snowballed from there. I had 5 models in the first couple of weeks, and then basically those people told people, and they just literally snowballed. I've not had a quiet week in 4 years, and
Good
it's
for you. Congratulations. That's really good.
yeah, no, I love it. Makes a difference that I love my job. I absolutely, I can't even put it to words how much I love my job. I've never dreaded a Monday morning. I've never got out of bed and thought, oh, I can't be asked today. It's nice being able to get in my car, drive to work, put my 80s tunes on, and just be happy. It's nice.
I like to say we don't have to do SMP. We
Yeah.
get to do SMP.
Yes.
It's a privilege. It's an honor to do it
Yeah.
because obviously they could go to somebody else, right? And then there's the other fact that we enjoy doing it.
I love doing it. And I think one of the things I love the most as well is just getting to know. Like I'm such a people person, and like I said earlier before we went on the
Offline, we were talking.
yeah. So one of the things I love the most is getting to know people well enough, even though it's 3 sessions, sometimes 4, where they feel like they can literally tell me
Hear their dirty little secrets.
just dirty secrets, just like, deep things as well, like,
Yeah,
what they've been through emotionally, and sometimes it's like losing a child, things like that.
I know. I
And when
know.
a lot of the time, I mean, I could write a book on what guy what guys have told me, not in a weird way, just in a. Sometimes it does shock me though, and I'm like, I'm working, I'm like,
No, I know. I know exactly what you mean. I've heard some
I feel
very, very horrible things. I've
yeah.
also heard some pretty incredible things as well.
So it goes both ways, but I think, be it not that we're licensed
Mm.
counselors or therapists, but it's, I've been told many times that I'm very an easy person to speak to, and a
Yeah.
lot of people that haven't spoke to about certain things about to anyone are then telling me these things, and I'm like, wow. And I think they shock themselves that they're telling me as well.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Not that I'm giving counseling advice or mental health advice, but sometimes it's just to listen. Someone just wants you to listen and not necessarily give advice, but just to. And I think as well, when you're having SMP, you're not looking at that person you're talking to because they lay down. So I always think, A, it's easier to speak to someone that you don't know, doesn't know your situation, maybe doesn't have like background information that they might not want to share. But then I think it's easier also talking to someone while you're not making eye contact as well. I don't know if
Do
it's
you
that.
know? Do you know Chloe Hayworth?
No, who's that?
I had her on the podcast, and the episode isn't even released, so you wouldn't even know this.
All right.
But she said the exact same thing, literally the exact same thing,
Yeah.
about when their heads down
Yeah.
and you're not looking at someone because they are more likely to open up
Oh, I know.
and give you all the, especially when you're working on the back of the head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. And I've heard, and sometimes it's the horrible, like I've heard about people getting molested, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you really say about that? It's good. I just let them say their piece.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they just want to not like just get something off the chest, I guess, maybe, or
Yeah.
for instance, what I told you earlier about my drink being spiked, I've not. It, I don't know why it came into my head to tell you that, but I've not spoke about that for years.
Yeah.
Literally years. I can't even remember the last time I ever told anyone that. So
Well,
I don't
thank
know.
you for
It's in my head. Yeah, maybe when we were talking about partying, I wasn't partying. I was collapsed on the landing.
sharing. Well, I think in regards to the bringing up things that are we don't know. I think most people compartmentalize their
Yeah.
thoughts and their emotions, right? And you need to be in survival mode and to take care of your business, what you're doing that day. And so when it's a conversation like you and I are having, or when you're
Yeah.
talking to someone and it's open, shit comes up and you're like, it's always in your head. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just not relevant
Yeah.
most of the time.
It's coming out. But
What
yeah.
was the hardest part for you becoming an SMP artist?
The hardest part.
Yeah.
What did you say? Sorry.
Yeah. What's the hardest part for you to become an SMP artist? What was the most challenging thing?
Um, being strict with my working hours.
Okay. Okay.
100%. So I used to, with me not being with Marco and Pippa's dad, he had them on Tuesday, or still has them Tuesday and Thursday nights. And it was very, very tempting for me to just say to a client that wanted to get in ASAP, oh yeah, come at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, come at 7 o'clock on Thursday, come at 8. The latest I've ever worked was till 1. My mum's going to kill me. Literally going to kill me for saying this. Literally, what, half 1?
What, in the morning?
Yeah, because this client was getting married and needed it done by a certain date. And we managed to get it done by when we wanted to get it done. And then 3 days before his wedding, he decided he wanted to drop his hairline, which I knew that he was going to want to. And I was saying, look, it's just, so we did like a bit of a naturally receded hairline, and it looked great. But I thought he's going to get used to that, and then he's going to realize that So I drew it when I drew it on originally. He was like, "Whoa, that's way too low," and I was like, "It's actually not. You in your early 30s. What you're showing me is what I would do for someone maybe in like 50s." I said, "But let's play it safe. On the first session, we always play it safe with hairline.
Start a little higher.
Yeah, we always play it safe with shade and hairline placement on the first session anyway. But what he was showing me was like what I would do for like sort of like a 50-year-old, and I just thought he's definitely going to want to drop that.
Yeah. You're
And
just not sure when.
it's 3 days before the bloody wedding. Let's get him in there.
I
Literally.
hope he paid you a little extra.
Yeah, no, he did. He bought me a lovely bottle of champagne.
That's good. For your marketing, who does all of your marketing? Do you do it all yourself?
Do it all myself, yeah. So
Okay.
that's
Do you hire people for SEO or
no,
anything? No companies. You haven't hired anyone
no,
ever.
ever.
Never been scammed.
Nope.
There's a lot. I'm sure you've got plenty of DMs of people offering
Oh yeah, definitely. And
every
then when I,
day.
tell them, when I tell them that I'm booked up 2 to 3 months in advance, they're like, "Oh," then they lose interest then, and they stop replying. They start messaging me then
Yeah.
because I think I'm gonna. No, I've never. I think if I ever saw a drop in bookings, then it's definitely something that I would look into. But touch wood, I've not had to yet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah. I'm shocked you by saying that.
I'm a little shocked. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Because England just looks so competitive there. And I mean, how many people are even England? I don't even know. Should have looked that up before. I mean, it's like there's so many really good artists in England.
Mhm.
But I know but a lot of people also travel, from other countries to England. And I know that's a big thing as well.
Yeah.
But good for you. That's good for you. Congratulations. I'm not
It's-
hating at all. I was a little caught off guard.
I do a couple of paid ads a month on Instagram, but I've never done like an SEO. Is that what it's
Do you
called?
have a website? Because I didn't see one.
No.
That's wild. That is wild. That is actually a little bit crazy.
It's just Instagram.
Because I was looking, I was like, where the fuck is her website at? And I couldn't find it. I was like, okay, let's just ask her about it. Yeah, so yeah, that's rare. That's rare. Do you just all your marketing is all social media and maybe a Google ads here? Are you certified on Google?
No.
Do you have the little blue check mark?
No.
And make a website.
I'd look into all of this if I saw a decline in inquiries and bookings.
Do you need to wait? But do you really need to wait for that to happen?
No.
Can you risk it?
Well, the thing is, I feel like when people are booking in at the moment, they want to get in as soon as possible. So I've probably lost clients anyway, not being able to get them in the week after or the week after that. So I don't know if you found that when someone wants to book in, they want to get in as soon as they can.
Yeah, I've definitely had that. They're like, and they have their heart set on it. And I just tell them, like if I have to work a weekend, because I also only work Monday to Friday, but there's a lot of guys who work Saturday and Sunday, they work every day. And I
Yeah.
used to do that in the beginning, but now I don't have to. And I got kids. I want to spend my time with my kids.
When I've got
And that's what I tell the person. I was like, look, I got 2 small kids. I want to hang out with my kids. So if you want to come in, it's going to be like an extra $500. I'll do it on a Saturday. And most of the time they're like, nah, it's cool. I'm like, use a vacation day. Use a vacation day, like a normal human being.
yeah.
know?
So I think in 4 years I've worked 3 Saturdays, and when I've got up on that Saturday morning, I literally want to kick myself. I'm like, why have I done this? Like, I love my weekends. Why have I done it? And like I said, I have to be really strict now because I don't want it to get to the point where I'm not enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it so much. It's like my dream job. So I want my free weekends to be able to chill, relax, do whatever I want to do, and then back on it Monday morning, fresh for Monday morning's client.
Yeah, no, you should. You got to perform your best every time.
Definitely.
That's good. And congratulations on doing the training and training a bunch of people. That's a big milestone. Good for you.
What's the training side? A lot of people say as well, you're not worried about training, loads of people in your area and, saturating the market and possibly taking
Business.
potential clients. Yeah, and I'm not being honest. I promise I'm very modest. I think I'm a good trainer and I'm very in depth. And what I love most, and this is feedback from my students as well, it's lifetime support. Literally. Like, so at this morning I had a phone call with a student that I trained the beginning of last year. And we have like WhatsApp groups for each training course. And I've made some amazing friends from what I do, clients and students. And I think obviously that's another reason I love my job so much as well, because I've met so many amazing people. But we're back to this, the student thing, because I offer that lifetime support, which many companies say they offer and they bloody don't at all, because I've retrained some students that have trained elsewhere. And a lot of them have said as soon as they leave on that last day, they've never heard from them again, to the point where they don't answer texts, they don't answer phone calls. And they said in the manual, there was, I'm not going to mention who this was, but obviously in the manual that they got given was like a helpline number.
A what number?
A helpline number if they needed assistance, right?
Oh, it wasn't to a human. It wasn't like
Well,
to a.
it's human, but in a bloody different country.
Huh.
So, what I do as well for my students is, because I've been there and I know what it feels like having that first bald client in, probably needed a nappy on at that time because you're shitting your pants so much. I feel like I knew what it was like to be that nervous. And if I can give that support to my students of, if they need me at that point, so I get them to tell me when they've got the first client in, and I book it out in my diary so that I'm literally there if they need me. And sometimes they'll know that they've drawn the hairline on right, they'll know that they've got the right shade, but sometimes it's just that thumbs up to crack on that you need. And I think that's really important, knowing that you've got that support there if you
Yeah,
need it.
no, I agree. I completely agree.
People don't. So it is there. I feel like it makes it a lot easier knowing that you've got someone on the other end of the phone. And yeah, I think that's the best feedback I get from my students, that it's nice that when they leave on that last day, they can still contact me and speak to me, and I can help them with, sometimes it's a picture of someone's head and they don't know what to quote it. Little things like that.
Yeah, I get that.
See, but it's your business. I can't tell you what to charge, but just to give a bit of a ballpark figure.
That's good. Yeah, I do. I've been doing these coaching calls with the people that I train. So what are some of your favorite products that you use, SMP products? I use all the needles, so send me your free needles if you're listening to this. I use whatever free shit's sent to me. That's what I use.
I won't say I've got one in particular brand that is my favorite, really.
What about ink?
What, sorry?
What about the ink? What ink do you use?
So
What's your favorite ink?
currently using Bishop ink.
Okay, shout out Bishop.
Yeah, I like a bit of Bishop ink. I like a bit of 5 PM shadow. I like a bit of Icon. Yeah, I've tried. What was the recent one I tried? Is it the new one, InkU?
Yeah, InkU. That's John Giroux.
Yeah. What do you use?
All of them.
All of
InkU, Blend, Follicule.
Yeah. So I've not tried Follicule yet. I'll have to watch.
Matt will send you some. Hit him up.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I want to try all of them at some point.
Yeah. If you message a lot of these artists, they'll send you a free sample. You just gotta reach out to them. Yeah. Just tell them. It might make you pay for shipping, but because then if you like it, then you keep buying.
Well, yeah, and I've seen tag them in stuff. Oh,
there's a blends. Do you know Alex Dondatas?
Yes.
Who is in? I mean, he sells the blends for for Chris. Chris is by me.
Yeah.
But he said, it costs a lot of money to ship overseas. So Alex is the distributor in England. So you can easily get blends too if you want to try that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get in touch with him. Definitely. But yeah, I wouldn't say particular brand that I go to every time. I just kind of try to, if something new does come out, I will always, you know, want to try it because I want to give the best results. So I think if that's going to improve my work and help me give natural results, then of course I'll, you know, I'd stick with that
Yeah,
100%.
makes sense.
Yeah, but
Do you use neutralizer?
you,
Yeah, I just started to the last 2 years.
would you?
And I want to say this to people listening, and no neutralizer was used on my head, and I got mine done in 2016. You can't see it because I'm wearing a hat. My son got me looking like Harry Potter. That's why I'm wearing a hat. Because I got a big cut right there, you know. But no neutralizer was used on my head, and my head never turned blue or anything like
Yeah,
that. So I think there's this big
it's not the ink, it's the artist.
yeah, but there's also this misconception, oh, if you don't use neutralizer, you're it's going to have a blue hue and all this shit. It's not. I mean, if you add enough water, it's not
Yeah,
going to.
yeah.
I'm living proof. I mean, I use the ink that's used on my head, I use on other people. And I have a big patch on my right leg. I
Okay.
mutilated my leg testing different inks and
Oh,
needles.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still
I,
to do that.
you don't need to, I mean, but you probably wear a bikini, I'm assuming at some point. See, I don't wear a bikini. So, it's on the very upper part of my leg. No one's going to see it except my wife.
Yeah. I know one of my students came in so I'd just give them the kits on the first day, and they went home and they'd been practicing on obviously the fruit and some fake skin. He came in the next morning and he was like, "Oh, I've had a little go on my finger." And I was like, "Of all the places to do it, why why not like the
Somewhere
bottom?"
nobody sees.
He was crazy. He's
You
actually
ever
smashed.
you ever accidentally stab yourself after you poked a patient?
Yeah.
Me too. I think we all have.
That's
I
the
think
thing.
we all.
Yeah.
And I immediately got a blood test.
Yeah.
I was like- no, I knew the person. I mean, they didn't check the data, but I got the blood because I just got paranoid.
Yeah.
Um, but
That's
yeah,
it.
I still have a little bit of a mark on my finger here. It's like
Yeah.
right under there.
Yeah. Got
Whatever.
one
It
of my
happens.
my index finger on my left hand when I was training, not on people, but on fruit, is literally like I need laser on it.
Yeah, it's the same. My pointer finger on my left hand.
My pointer finger on my left hand.
Same.
I'm not even going to show you on camera. 'Cause if I ever get engaged, right, and I've got to be like, "Hey, like, look at my ring," that finger is not going on the picture
We can
until
Photoshop it out.
I'll be like, look at my ring, guys. Look at my ring."
I mean, it is just the best. I mean, I'd rather have the mark on my hand and no disease. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
scary, but I mean, we play with fire. We play with fire.
Yeah. What's your so my students asked me this. What are your views on treating someone with a blood-borne virus?
They like AIDS or some shit.
Yeah.
W- As far as I know, no one has admitted that they have it, and if they had it, they lied to me.
Yeah.
So, but if they did tell me they have it, oh, I don't know. I
Right,
don't know.
do
I
you
think I might have to decline unless they're gonna pay me a lot of money. And I feel terrible for saying that, but
I
I'm paranoid.
don't
I'm
think
sorry, but I'm paranoid.
I don't think by law you're allowed to say no. That's
Well, I would just raise my price then.
yeah. So here,
I would,
if someone writes that they've got something quite serious like that in a medical history, you're actually not allowed to refuse them treatment.
and I see that. I'll just raise my price because
Yeah.
guess what? My risk just went up.
Yeah,
So it's
definitely.
justified. My risk of accidentally poking you and then poking my finger because it's greater than 0% chance that I could accidentally poke myself.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I would just jack my price up a lot.
yeah. By 1,000 a session.
Yeah, yeah.
When they do ask me that, personally, I've never had someone write that on a medical history anyway. So I think until you're in that situation, you don't know what you do. But I just say, you know, to kind of like round about the whole point of it, is treat everyone as if they've got HIV or AIDS.
Yeah. No,
Ev-
that is the correct way. Treat everybody
treat
like you have it.
everyone as if they've got, a really, really infectious, life-threatening disease, and that's a good way to start. If you think everyone's gonna infect you with something, you're gonna be extra diligent with your
Cautious.
cleanliness. Yeah, you wiping down, making sure there's when the next client's walking in, there's literally nothing from the previous client at
Oh,
all.
I'm already a paranoid person about
Yeah,
that.
same.
I'm not sure if you've seen my video. I don't even wear the same shoes. So when I leave here, I take off my shoes and then I wear different shoes home. I have shoes for just the office.
What you meant? You got different pair of shoes for each client?
Ah, no. I wear different shoes from my house because I don't want to bring my shop
Yeah,
germs to my house, if that makes
yeah. So I change my tunic at
Yeah.
work. We'll leave it there and then bring a fresh one for the next day.
Yeah, no, it just
So can never be too careful, and it's not. It's I'd rather be like that than not.
and be careless, right? And dirty.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
So how can people find you, Jessica? How can people find you, contact you if they want to do training?
is Instagram. So I'm currently having a website set up. It's being done now for my training.
Uh,
Just because a lot of people will type in Google SMP training Manchester, but also what I found is, and I don't know how this has happened because I've not got a website, but when someone types SMP Stockport, I think I'm like right near the top, and I'm like, I've not paid anything, so how does that work? And someone's
Actually, people have been talking about you then.
it's the hashtags.
Yeah. And guess what? They're taking them away December 12th.
Why?
I don't know. Ask Instagram. Well, you're not going to be able to. It's something on Instagram where they're taking away. You can't search something by hashtags and you can't follow hashtags anymore. I don't know. I think they just want to manipulate the algorithm to force you to watch more ads. I don't know though. But look into that for real.
Yeah, I will. And like I said, if I did ever see a drop in inquiries and bookings, then of course I'd look into the SEOs and making a website just for the SMP treatment. But at the minute, things are going good. So
Good for you. Good for you. So it's can you spell it out? What is it? SM for the people listening?
SMP _by Jessica Rose.
Okay. And then if your new website is ready, before we
So
post this, we'll add that.
yes, definitely.
We'll
So
pop
say
it up
yeah,
on the screen.
same input in with yeah.
Okay. All right. So stay on, Jessica. I'm going to end this. Thanks everybody for listening.
Daddy.